This episode of Built Different is brought to you by Spas and More. Visit spasandmorestl.com for more information.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Built Different podcast. In studio with me, I got a couple old friends, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Jesse, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'm Jessica Ottenheim. I work in District 6, been there since I graduated in 2019, and I'm here with my partner.
Brett Stevens, 6th District as well. We work together every day. We graduated nearly around the same time, 2019. So,
you guys have heard me talk about the 6th District a little bit, so you guys are kind of familiar with it. That's kind of where I grew up. And you guys, let's see, did you guys graduate the academy together? Okay.
No, just I think 2 classes apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what year was that?
2019, September 2019 is when I came out.
Okay.
I think just after the year turned 2020 is when I graduated and came out. So.
Okay. And then how did you guys start riding together?
Well, my original partner, he took an assignment down in the bikes downtown, and his original partner started having babies, so yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Jason Delp, he was actually on here probably the last episode that just released, I think.
Yeah, that was my partner.
He was on here with the they had the whole band on here, so we had them on, and it was a cool little episode. But yeah, so I remember you guys coming out and working down in 21 area. I don't know what area, Jess, you're working out now. You were kind of in.
I was in 12 areas, so I worked at Walnut Park.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. So. I definitely remember that. So
yeah, now we're relief. So
you guys are on relief squad.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the good squad. But I'm sure things have changed a lot since I was on. But let's just kind of talk about the progression of the 6th District, the city policing, and everything. So, how are things? What are the changes that you guys have seen so far?
Well, I would say when we came out with the circuit attorney's office, you're not getting anywhere. You could have a really good case and you're just going to get the run around and get blown off. But now we have a lot of good attorneys in place down there, especially with Gore, with the leadership down there. Pretty much every case I've taken to them gets issued. That's
very refreshing to hear. I remember it being a battle, especially kind of whenever they did the paw thing with COVID and everything. It was just like refused.
Yes, everything was refused. They didn't even give you a time of day. They wouldn't talk to you. They wouldn't even call you back. It was literally an email sent to you, refused. Lack of evidence, every single thing.
Yeah, they were really taking advantage of the pending application of warrant. Basically, we were sending, if I remember right, we were sending them through email, a lot of the drug cases, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you weren't basically allowed to argue the case, like, and present the case in a way that, made sense.
Yeah. And for the most part, you didn't hear a response for a year.
Yeah.
There's still cases that we haven't gotten responses on, and that's no fault of the new leadership in there. It's all stuff that's bled over from Kim Gardner's office.
I think the last phone call that I received about testifying on a case was May of 25.
Oh, wow.
And that was a case from 19, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like you said, it's not a fault of the current state, but it's just.
I mean, I can imagine they're probably at a point where statute of limitations is exceeding on everything.
100%. Yep. And at that point, it just needs to happen, and new cases need to be brought, and just to catch up. So that's just going to be part of the growing process, I would assume.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like I said, night and day difference. You walk in there, they bring you right back, and they'll actually talk with you.
Yeah.
And if you want to argue, not argue with them, but argue your case, you can. Before it was no.
How's the morale? Like, I feel like it's better than whenever I was there. Like, more of the, but I could be wrong. But
I think it's improved.
Yeah.
But it can be so defeating, especially as a young officer. Thinking you're writing a good report, you're getting a good arrest, you're doing all the things right, and then it goes nowhere. So, that you take that mentality back to the district, and it's not motivating to deal with that.
Absolutely.
And it's just the constant, you're constantly just humping the radio.
Yeah.
And that's what killed so many for so long. Get them worn out, worn down, don't want to do nothing proactive, because you're just humping the radio. But with that, you get more police officers on the street. That quiets down a bit. So,
Are you guys seeing a change in manpower? Is there a plus up?
I don't know.
I haven't even looked at the recent academy classes to see.
It's a little better, but
We're still losing
Yeah.
people, you know?
That's a big deal.
Whether it be retiring, you know, firing, quitting, whatever, going to a different place. I mean, we're losing, I would say, still more than it seems like we're getting.
Well, and the academy classes just aren't as big as they used to be.
No.
You know, whenever I went through, we graduated. I think this is 2017, right? We graduated with 17 people.
Yeah.
That was your graduating class?
Yeah. And I feel like after, like, that was, everyone in the department was like throwing a hissy fit about it. Like when I came out, like people were going to the union and being like, why are we only graduating 17 people? And like it was wild. But now I feel like that's kind of par for the course, and they're not even putting out as many academy classes as they
17
were.
would be a big class now. Yeah.
It's probably a good thing because, I mean, you naturally have to weed through people in the academy.
Yeah. Yeah, and they did. And because I started with 36. So they weeded off a lot of them. But there's, like I said, there's people mad about it. Like, why are we graduating, you know? But I think my class was just there wasn't a whole lot of good candidates in it.
Yeah, I mean, when I went to the academy, we had 3 full classes going at once.
Right.
I don't think that's how it is now.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. I don't know.
See, and then back whenever I went through, right before I went through, like 3 was pretty much normal whenever I went through. But like 2 years prior to that, like 4 or 5 classes going through.
Yeah.
And that was 30, 40 plus. So it's definitely a big change.
Yeah. It used to be for a while, like a class would graduate, 6 weeks later, another class would start. And that was the rotation they were on. I think we graduated 28, which was probably the last big class. Ever since then,
That's a huge class compared to now.
So moving forward, I guess I've talked about this a little bit, but I kind of want to share it again for the listeners that are kind of following up on it. So last year we had a really bad storm in the city, and I know that storm affected a lot of where I used to work at, where you guys currently work at. What's kind of the state up there right now with all of that?
It's honestly the Greaterville area where it got hit in the 6th the most. It's a ghost town.
Yeah.
I mean, houses ruined, destroyed, people moved out. I think majority of the people's houses that were destroyed, they were kind of forced to hang around that area and live, you know, how they could. But now it's, quiet.
They just all cleared out then, probably.
I've seen a lot of demolition now. And I did see some survey work near like St. Louis and Newstead area. Like they're getting ready to build again on a couple of those lots.
You think they're just going to like build houses and stuff back up?
I think it's going to be something
Housing.
More like housing, smaller apartment units.
Newstead and St. Louis Avenue, they built the one apartment complex.
Like maybe 20, 30 units, something like that, I think.
Are a lot of these people living on the streets, you guys think?
It's so hard to tell.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of them anymore.
I mean, from what I can remember, the homeless encampment at Tucker and what is it? Right down the street from...
Yeah, right when you get off the highway downtown.
It's Cass, is it? Cass?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that thing, it seems like that blew up even more since the...
Yeah, I know Elliot Davis, if you guys are familiar with him.
Oh,
He's been
yeah,
down there a lot doing stuff. So it's really hard to see, you know. I mean, there were a lot of good people. You know, there was gangs and stuff, but there was a lot of good people down there. You
sure was.
run into a lot of good people down there.
And, I mean, you're talking generations of families in this single home just destroyed.
Well, and it was a less fortunate community than, like, if it would have happened further south, those people would have been fine.
Oh, yeah.
But it was definitely a less fortunate community for it to happen to.
Yeah, it's extremely sad, and it's hard for them to bounce back. Like, it wasn't the same tornado. But prior to that, there was a tornado that ripped through southern Jefferson County area. My house got hit with that. I needed a new roof, insurance, all that, siding, all that. So it's horrible for me, and the amount that it cost to have the new roof, insurance claim put on, everything like that. Yeah, I could see it being a problem in North St. Louis.
Yeah, and a lot of those people probably didn't have insurance.
Yeah, sure.
a lot of those houses were probably paid off, or they probably owned them. If you're familiar with the north side, a lot of those people have lived there for a long time, long enough to pay off them houses, and home insurance just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And you're talking no upkeep, maybe tuck pointing has to be kept up with. I mean, it was just it was terrible.
Yeah.
It sucks.
So we'll kind of rewind. I kind of got ahead of myself, but fast forwarding to like the beginning of your guys' careers, what were some of the things that you learned early on to kind of cut your teeth in the district, and grow up?
Well, there's a few instances where I was really glad that I had ended up listening to my sergeant, like when he would say, "Don't chase cars, don't chase cars," because early on, Delp and I, trying to make a traffic stop, hadn't even turned our lights on yet. The guy in that car we were about to pull over, he knew that we were about to pull him over, and he took off on us, and he ended up driving into oncoming traffic on Natural Bridge and killing himself and a driver in the other car. And thank God we weren't chasing that car, because I would have been done from there.
Yeah, it's definitely a dangerous aspect for everyone. For people that don't know, like, as soon as you, like you said, you hadn't even lit it up, right?
Right, no.
And a lot of times, I don't know if that's the case now, but then a lot of times, as soon as you even started looking at a car, they would know, and they would take off. And
they have complete disregard for any human life. Yep. I mean, we're talking North St. Louis kids playing outside in the streets. I mean, you light up a car like that and you start going down a residential block, the kid's going to jump out in front. It's terrible.
Learn from others' mistakes.
Yeah,
That's what I did learn early on. Listen to your sergeant and learn from the mistakes of others.
And I mean, back then, talking 2019, 2020, 21, I mean, they were crucifying police officers for that exact stuff.
Yep.
So between that and everything else at the time, you really got to think twice about what you're doing.
Yes, it's very, it was
And for new cops, it's hard to think at all.
It's and you get that tunnel vision, especially you get that first car that takes off from you, and you're like, oh, here we go. But
let's go. This is YouTube video. I've seen these before. You start chasing the out of that car.
Yep. It's definitely a learning curve.
Yeah.
I remember those first few times of cars taking off from me and having to
it's
stop.
hard.
But you almost had to. I remember there towards the end, I would literally do a U-turn.
Yeah, that's what we would ended up doing all the time. Yeah.
Stay away from the vehicle, and because they're going to continue to drive crazy for the next 5 minutes.
If it's dark out, they're going to turn their lights off. They're going to start driving in oncoming traffic.
Yep.
But just coming out initially, like starting out, you got to be able to learn how to handle the radio. That's your most important. You just got to handle radio assignments. You got to know how to handle radio assignments. Don't.
How does beat integrity look like now? I imagine it's pretty hard with.
It used to be better. It's hard now because it's like now beat integrity is like area integrity, right? Because we got like 2 to 3 dead-headed cars in each area. So it's like, say we're 621, right? Anything from 21 to 624 we're handling.
Right.
So I think if people can do that at least, I think that's a plus.
At least make the effort. There's times when you're just not going to be able to do it, but it's those times that the other officers understand, especially if you're keying up and trying to do it most of the time.
And we've had our issues with it. There's no doubt about it. There was a summer 2 years ago maybe where we were the only car in 11 area all summer long. So it's like we're expected to handle 11 area. I mean, it fucking drags on you. We're talking 6-7 days a week, middle of July. I mean, it's tough.
Have you guys noticed like a decrease in crime? I feel like homicides are down.
Yes.
I mean,
homicides are down.
So I mean, I feel like if violent crime's down, everything else is kind of.
This past year, violent crime has been down. Shootings have been down. Homicides been down. I mean, there's even been a drop in carjackings. I mean, we haven't. Yeah, it's been.
Do you think that's like because of post-COVID, or do you think that it's because policing is becoming stronger? Circuit Attorney's Office.
Circuit Attorney's Office.
Circuit attorneys. They know there will be repercussions, and I think, yes.
Yeah, they can
Officers
say.
want to go off after those cases.
Yeah, they can say whatever they want in the media, but my personal opinion, which I strongly believe, it's the circuit attorney's office. Getting cases issued, locking people up, no bond on different crimes. I mean, that's the reason why.
Yeah, that's
a
the
no-brainer.
the ground floor. We as officers can do everything, you know, but I always joked whenever I was working that it was catch and release every time.
Yeah, sure.
Always was.
Sure.
You get a robbery case or something like that, you thought it was cut and dry, you go hunt the guy down, and then
Yeah.
it's no good. So
There's been some new judges coming in, too. I think that I've seen in some of my cases that we've worked, there has been a difference in those.
that's that's a big point, and you got to have a good judicial system behind the police department where you're just
Spinning your wheels.
yep.
And a lot of people are moving out of the city.
Yeah.
You know, residents are moving out. They're going out to county, wherever, Illinois side. I don't know. It just seems like the 6th district is, all I know for the most part. But it seems like it's been a lot quieter.
Do you think the city's kind of in a rebuild stage a little bit? Like I'm seeing it from the outside now, which is very strange for me. But I'm going to like games in the city and stuff like that, and I feel better.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like whenever I was down there, and sometimes I feel like, well, that's just because I'm not a cop. I don't see it every day, but I do feel like you see less, car clodding, stuff like that downtown, and I feel like it's being talked about and cracked down on a little bit more.
Yeah.
I know that's just the nightlife in the 4th district, but I would hope that it's bleeding over to the other districts as well, which it sounds
so.
a little bit
You have to set
like it
this
is.
precedent somewhere,
Yeah.
whether it be in the 4th, where we do have a lot of visitors, you want people to feel safe, right?
Yeah.
So that
If
does
you
make
can
sense.
combat crime, then you can bring business in and start getting things back on track or whatever.
Absolutely. I mean, we just had I think a big win I see for politics in the city, and like I said, crime and further progression of the city with, us getting an Olympic game with the soccer stadium and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's, all of that stuff I think will only help.
It's huge. Yeah, and back to what we were just saying. Nobody wants to go downtown to a soccer game or a Cardinals game and get their car broken into. Nobody wants that.
Yep.
That happens one time. They're probably not going to go back to the city for a year. That's me anyway. It's a pain in the ass to get a new window on a car. Nobody wants to deal with that.
Yep. Yeah, I just went to a Blues game here not too long ago, and I was like, I saw a lot less of what you used to see. So, yeah, it seems like there's a turn. I hope it continues down the right path. But how about like petty crimes? Like, I feel like that's kind of a big thing too, because it's something that I felt like always got overlooked in the city because you got so much more stuff. But I think stepping down on petty crimes also helps and sets that precedent of, well, if I can't do this, then I can't go break into a car. But I didn't know how the city judicial system was, if that was
I've gone to
progressing.
city court quite a few times for different cases for petty crimes. So I can say there is some leeway where they're actually looking at the cases now, which is good. But I think a lot of petty crimes victims got to the point where they weren't even reporting them because nothing was being done about them.
Or it'd take an hour for an officer to get to you for your petty crime. We're talking car clodding. Yeah, it might be an hour before one cop shows up to write down 50 vehicle VINs in a parking lot.
Absolutely. This is all good stuff to hear. I definitely think that it's on the right path. I think that people are seeing the change, for sure. I think there's a different light, like I said, in America in general, on policing. So, which is important. You need a community to back you. I always throw this story out there, but I always felt like the community wasn't against you, but you just didn't know who was, supportive of you, and then who was like, if you turn your back. But I remember after I got out of the hospital, they were constructing the soccer park at the time. And when we pulled up in front of headquarters, I looked behind me, and all of the workers that were working on the soccer stadium were out there clapping, which to me was kind of like my first sight at seeing the community support police a little bit more.
Sure.
And that's a good point, because working in the 6th for 6 years, 7 years now. I don't know policing anywhere else, right? I've always been North St. Louis.
Yep.
So I don't know what it's like to police out in Clayton or, District 1 or 2 on the south side where people actually like you. I mean, what's hard for me is I think that everyone dislikes the police. And I hate to say it like that, but my overall opinion is like people don't like me. People don't like the police. People don't want the police just hanging around, So, yeah, I don't know what that would be like anywhere else, but I can imagine people like us. Right?
I try to talk them out of that because I work a lot of secondary at different places that are very welcoming of police, like Ballpark Village, baseball game. Everybody's walking by. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Things of that nature. Yeah, we don't get that in the north. So
I remember doing that kind of stuff downtown, but I always felt like when you would go to a call on the 6, you were always starting behind the gun. So you're already ready, prepared to argue why you're there. How you're going to help them. You're a good guy.
Hey,
stuff
listen,
like that.
I'm not here to mess with you.
Yeah, that's how a lot of our conversations start. Yeah.
And I remember, going downtown to work at the Blues game or something like that, and like kind of starting my approach like that with people, and they were like, "Oh, thank you so much," patting you on the back. I'm like,
yeah.
But yeah, I definitely I see you see the difference.
Yeah, definitely.
But
it would be interesting. I'd be intrigued to see what that is like.
Yeah.
But maybe I need to work some more overtime, secondary somewhere.
Get out of 6. Yeah, I worked down in District 2 a couple times with a buddy that I graduated academy with, and I just remember how he's like, "Yeah, we got to go to this spot and this spot, and we just got to sit here."
Like people want us to go hang out places.
There was like a call like a block away from us, and he's like, "No, we got to sit here. We have to stay here." I'm like,
wow.
And I remember going down to the cruising detail and it being the same way, like Salamas Market, you stay there.
Oh, yeah.
But it's strange to see the difference between the north side versus
same city, but completely different dynamic for as far as policing goes.
Yeah, I mean it is totally different dynamic. You have to completely police in a different way. I mean, just the way, like you said, approaching people, you have to prove to them that you're not there to just F with them,
Yeah, I remember starting out, I had like 1 or 2 years on, and people like you guys are coming out of the academy and stuff, and I remember telling them, like, just expect to start behind the gun. You show up to a shooting scene, it's going to be your fault.
Yeah.
Yes.
None of you were involved with the shooting, but it's going to be your fault.
Yeah.
And you just got to start behind the gun and take it for what it is.
Yeah.
So,
Been on shootings that have led to full-on aid calls with, everything in between with the family and bystanders and everything else. It's just got to be ready for anything.
It's weird. The switch will flip, and So let's kind of talk a little bit. So you guys got to experience like COVID policing and stuff like that. Let's talk about, because I feel like the city, but also the north side just completely changed after that. So COVID kind of started in, what was it, 2019?
2020. Yeah. Beginning of 2020.
Which is when I came out. So
Right. So you're coming out and, people are like, wear your mask, all this stuff. Like it was...
no self-initiated activity.
Yes.
My training period when I was on training, when I was a probe or, on training status, whatever, I did not pull over a single car.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
That's
Coming
wild.
out of the academy and you don't pull over a car and do a traffic stop for however long we were on it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I actually went on a military deployment in 20, and which I'm not sure. You guys definitely had it worse because you had the Floyd riots while I was gone and COVID and all that stuff. But I was jumping between countries and stuff, and every country that I went to, we had to quarantine for 2 weeks. And then if you had a bad test or you sneezed or you looked at someone wrong, you were in it for another 2 weeks. And it was
awful.
It took me forever just to get back to the States, to get back to policing. So I remember when I came back, I think we were up at the Y.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I didn't realize that. And I walked into the North Patrol and no one knew who I was. I had a beard and stuff. And everyone was like, who's this guy? I'm like trying to get back to the apartment as quick as I can. And they're like, well, I think it was Mac. He sent me down and he's like, listen, the apartment's a little bit different from when you left. You got to do all these steps to get all these places. And it was crazy.
Yeah, I think that really set a lot of things back was COVID. Yeah. I mean, it's just like you can't just shut down the world and expect 2 years later to get back to normal.
It was, and obviously we saw the repercussions from like we said, the circuit attorney's office, judicial system, stuff like that, and just everything was at a snail's pace from that moment
everything.
forward.
You could pretty much do whatever you wanted from a crimes perspective, and you'd be sitting at the Justice Center for less than a day. You know you're going to be out.
Yeah. It's, I mean, they just weren't. And I think that, I don't remember, but I feel like the Justo was very overpopulated. Like, maybe it wasn't then, maybe it was before, but I feel like there was some issues with that kind of stuff too. So they were just, people were just hitting the streets.
During that period, we had the area stations, we had the holdovers were closed.
Yeah.
So we had to go down to the Justice Center and book everyone.
Yeah.
That's from South Patrol, Central, North Patrol.
Yeah, and in that little, it wasn't even a room, it was a like cubicle with one or two computers, and the right one never worked.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very, it was a wild time to be.
Yeah, and then, now that things have gotten better, the workhouse demoed, they destroyed that. So constantly, once a week, we're getting on, we're coming into shift, and we hear over the radio that the Justice Center's closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean the Justice Center's closed?
Were you guys on when the workhouse was a thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if you were or not, but we used to get,
We used to go there all the time.
Used to get calls for inmates and stuff like
Throwing
that.
key on people.
I actually, it was very weird, but I ended up having to arrest one of the workers there because he ended up assaulting one of the guys, and I don't know if, I think it was Damon Willis, but I had to call him, and I'm like, I don't know what to do here. Because this guy absolutely assaulted this inmate. So he came up, and it was a whole big ordeal. It was. I was not sad to see that place go. Just it was a very big. It was.
It was a headache.
The structural side of it, like we should, as district cops, should not have been. They could have implemented a city, if the city police have to regulate it, they could have implemented 3, 4, 5 police officers to regulate
something. Something should have been
a little unit or something they could have.
I mean, in terms of prisoners, it was a good place. I mean, we needed the space, right?
Yeah.
There's probably no doubt that it needed renovations or whatever the hell. I'm sure it was a shithole inside there. It's jail.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they could have done a little upkeep with it and kept it running.
Now we just have no place for the prisoners to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. There's no place.
Yeah. So you're probably getting a lot of those guys that are just getting released because they're staffing or whatever population.
Get to that point if it's not already. Yeah, they're probably going to be pushed to start releasing people. Whatever.
I know there's been a lot of controversy in the news about the Justice Center here recently. So, it's definitely a mess. It's hopefully something that will improve as well.
Sure.
So, you guys are post-COVID now. You guys are pretty, from the city standpoint, once you get like a year on, I feel like you're either substantiating, you got your foothold, you know what you're doing or not. But, I mean, the turnover obviously is a big thing. You don't know who you're riding with. People go to, well, not really anymore. They don't really go to specialized units, but, people leave and stuff like that. Yeah. So, how does that feel? I mean, you're seeing your coworkers leave, go other places, do things like that pretty quick. It's hard to stick it out through all of that.
It is.
It can be, for sure.
I think, I mean, I think a lot of other police officers have an issue with it, but I like patrol.
Yeah.
I can do what I want. I can answer the radio. I can investigate things.
Yeah.
I can chill,
Yeah.
That's what I like about it.
I loved that aspect of patrol as well.
I couldn't go and run and gun every day in mobile or whatever.
Right.
I couldn't do that. I'm not built for that.
It's a unit like mobile. I don't know. It interested me. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, but it was you go out, chase a car, arrest bad guy. It was
And I'm sure they have days where they chill too.
Oh yeah.
They're not doing it every single day.
Yeah.
But when we're talking going down to the circuit attorney's office, applying on a case, arresting a guy, I mean, you're doing that back to back to back. That's a drain. That's old. I don't know if I'd like that. You know?
Well, and you can do like you guys have been doing, but investigations and stuff like that, like you can do that.
You can do whatever you want.
We pick and choose what we want to. Not that everything isn't important, that we don't do everything to a certain standard, but sometimes we get a case and we'll work with the sergeant in the detective bureau and say, do you mind if we take lead on this? And we'll handle it we'll clean it up and everything. So yeah, we have those options, and we can do search warrants. We are doing a lot of stuff with animal abuse right now, which it really interests me because I feel like animals in the city are not treated well in a lot of cases, and they don't have a voice. So I like to be that voice for them.
Let's kind of hop into that. You guys are kind of already famous before coming on the podcast. So yeah, you guys have had a few things going on in the news and stuff. So let's hop right into it and talk about that. You guys had a dog that was shot, if I'm correct. Was it on purpose? Was it a stray bullet? I
don't know. It was a holiday morning. I think it was around Christmas time. It was a call for shots fired in the Baden neighborhood. I think Officer Landon Jordan got there first, and he let us know about it. But yeah, the dog was there on the street. I don't know if somebody just was tired of seeing the dog on the block, tired of the dog rummaging through trash, if tired of the stray dog, whatever. Dog was barking early in the morning. I don't know. I think someone just went out and took a couple shots at it and hit it right in the eye, right below the eye, and it kind of bounced down, clipped the dog's tooth, went through a little leg, got shot in the butt. I mean, yeah, the dog, miracle the dog lived.
So what's the process kind of look like after that? You guys are probably contacting.
We don't. So with cases like that, when a dog's shot and it's like severe, we rely on Stray Rescue. Are you familiar with Stray Rescue St. Louis? Yeah. I mean, they're not a city entity. Like they don't. You know what I'm saying? They're not controlled by the city or anything like that. So the range of things they can do is much different than animal control. It sucks to say, but if you got a dog shot 3 times and you take it to animal control, they don't have the resources to repair the dog and bring the dog, It's unfortunate, but they're just going to have to euthanize the dog.
They have limitations, They're tax funded. They have limitations. So.
Yeah, it's no fault of their own. I mean, they're doing the best with the resources that they can, just like everybody.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we rushed the dog to Stray Rescue, and they're amazing.
So way back when, I think it was like probably 18, but I found a dog down in the basement, and I took her down to Stray Rescue, and she was. I kept calling, I kept calling about her. I was like, hey, someone adopted her. No. So I finally came down there and I adopted her.
Oh,
that's awesome.
So I had her for probably about a year, and she was out at my family's farm, and she got bit by a raccoon. If you guys know what coonhound paralysis is,
no.
Basically, if they get some raccoons carry this disease, and it will paralyze the dog.
Wow.
And it was very, very bad. So we ended up having to put her down. But that's how I met my wife.
Yeah.
So my wife worked at the vet clinic, and so
she worked at not Stray Rescue, but the vet where you're at.
Back home. Wow. So that's how I met my wife. So Ventura was her name, but she was a little
something good came out of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but. So dogs are very, those stray dogs up there, you can get very easily attached to them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we do. I mean, once a week we're saving a dog, whether it's just finding it on the street or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
It's like once a week, probably. That's a pretty good average.
There's so many up there, I feel like.
There are. And they're a lot in such bad conditions, like some bad situations, or, there's been, I can count on, just name a few right now. We had a dog that was hit by a car. Somebody called it in on West Florissant. Yeah. The call could have went right to animal control, but we went because a second person called, and we ended up getting that dog. Stray Rescue was closed, but I called Stray Rescue, and they gave us permission to take the dog to the ER, which is like very specialized and expensive. That dog ended up needing a leg amputation. He had to go to Mizzou and have a surgery at their veterinary school, and Stray Rescue took care of all of it. And we had another dog that got hit by a car.
Just countless.
Yeah, it's over and over again.
It's just I don't know if it's just the community, if they just irresponsible dog ownership. I mean, that's not having secured backyards. It's I've met people who just think it's cool that their dog goes and roams the block, like, oh, my dog's just down the block visiting his friend. No. Like, what are you doing?
Well, especially up there, because you meet so many people that have the dogs, but then there's other people that are like scared.
Yeah.
Like more so than a normal human being, and they'll just shoot them.
Yes.
And then, on the other end, you have dogs who up there that will literally be on the streets for so long. They're so hungry, they're starving. They get they're pissed off, right? And then they join a pack with other dogs. So you have like a wild pack of dogs out there, and they will attack people. They will start attacking kids. I mean, it's a major problem.
It's because they were failed by humans.
Yes.
They were failed by humans. You know?
No fault of the dog. It's just terrible, irresponsible dog ownership.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy up there. Like I remember seeing packs of dogs roaming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
But with that, we have a really good relationship. Kind of, we're getting there with animal control. So they've been sending us a lot of animal abuse cases. More serious than others. Not like dog off a leash and stuff like that, but like actual animal abuse cases that we've gotten a lot of charges issued for felonies on it, or saving the dog and all that good stuff, or cat too.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's something we love, and I think everyone should find something they like and try to pursue it.
I think that's very important in that job, especially. Like you can do everything in patrol.
Sure.
So finding your little nick in the in patrol. Mine was kind of a little bit of everything, but I really got like attached to some of the drugs and stuff like that, and just knowing how that game kind of worked. So that was a big deal of mine, and allowed me to apply for DEI and stuff. But there's just finding that as a patrol officer to kind of hone in on in the city is very easy to do and should be done for officers.
You get a lot of good cases from running down, like animal abuse stuff or whatever. Usually people who are mistreating animals, they're probably not. They're doing other bullshit.
Most crimes lead to other crimes.
Yeah.
Yes. They're not the best of humans if they're just beating up a dog. So.
Yeah, I've talked to a few officers, that have joined the city, like younger officers, and I've told them that before. Most crimes will lead to other crimes. Your car clottings downtown, those guys are doing more than just that kind of stuff. So absolutely, I think it's important to remember that as a young officer.
Yeah, even when she used to do the drinking in public a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, even doing those summonses or furs and stuff like that, it leads to so much more.
Yeah, we'd have a guy in cuffs, and he'd take off running all of a sudden on Delp, It's because he has a whole nutsack full of ecstasy. So, of course, he's running because he's getting a ticket for drinking in public. He knows we're about to find that.
And those guys probably, if, they didn't have drugs or something, they probably knew what was going on in the block, and they could probably tell you some stuff.
Exactly, yeah. We found out a lot of stuff like
or
that.
If, like, a homicide happens in that block or whatever, homicide detectives will look into furs in that area and then track down those people that were furred and then get information from them about, because they're always out there. They're out there sitting on the block drinking. They know what's going on.
I remember I had Aaron Webster on here a while back, and he told me that one of the biggest things that he thought that the city was kind of missing out on as policing goes was foot beats.
Sure.
Especially up north, because he said he remembered as a young officer doing foot beats and stuff, and he's like, I would just meet so many people.
Yeah.
Just, and he's like, they always started off better if I was on foot versus pulling up on them in a car.
Yeah, the intimidation a little bit,
That makes sense.
So, that's a big thing. Now, obviously, you guys probably don't have a whole lot of time to do that now with manpower and stuff like that. But, it's definitely that casual conversations with people and stuff like that is definitely a segue into other things.
Yeah, we have a lady in Walnut Park that we actually met through an animal abuse situation, strangely enough. But our investigation led us back to her, not as a suspect of the animal abuse, but she has become a very good friend of ours, where we go to her house for meals and she gets us Christmas presents, and her dog had a birthday party. She invited us, and there are times when she knows what's going on,
There's a lot of good people up there still, and they're willing to treat you right, as long as you give them a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So if young officers got back to the foot beats and just talking to people. Of course you're going to go down a block and talk to someone, and they're going to tell you to F off. You know. But that's not everyone, and I've had to learn that myself too.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, we. I remember, I think it was like 19. Maybe it was 21, but we were doing a couple of foot beats like on the College and Carter area, stuff that. We were looking for a couple of guys over there, so we were pretty prevalent in that area. So it definitely it worked out sometimes, but Other than that, though, guys, I mean, you guys got anything else to add?
I just like when young officers come on, don't think that patrol is like a bad place to be. Like just goes back to what we've been talking about. I feel like we should be treated better in patrol, but it is not a bad place to be at all.
Not. Yeah.
Yeah, get comfortable there, and
Everyone thinks they can just come out the academy and jump into SWAT and booting indoors, but it's like that's totally unrealistic.
I've my eyes have been very wide open since I medically retired and everything, but I've talked to a few of the upper chain of command and stuff like that, and if you don't think that they don't know what's going on in patrol, when I say upper chain of command, I mean lieutenants and stuff like that, and these specialized units, they're keeping an eye on you guys. I've talked to several guys, down at DEI, stuff like that. They're like, yeah, we were always keeping an eye on your platoon. Like, you had a lot of hard-working cops there. So, and the 6th District does. So,
For sure.
yeah, I mean, that's a very good thing to think about.
Yeah, if you can master patrol, you can do anything.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
buddy.
Sure.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you guys.